Now, I guess we could call this next story from the Washington Post the case of the accidental whistleblower. It turns out that a veteran with the CIA didn't get the memo that the CIA doesn't release any information about anything to the public anymore. This is a case of Jeffrey Scudder. He had a CIA career that included assignments in Africa, Afghanistan, and Iraq. But for 2 years, they put him in an office where he was managing the agency's historical files. And he noticed there a stack of articles, hundreds of histories, many of them decades old. He said that he thought that they ought to be released to the public. They were being stored in secret years after they should have been shared with the public. So to get them released, he submitted a FOIA request. CIA did not like that. And so what happened was, after 4 years, he is no longer with the CIA. But listen to what they did in response to his FOIA request. They said in the Washington Post, his request set in motion a harrowing sequence. He was confronted by supervisors, accused of mishandling classified information while assembling his FOIA request. His house was raided by the FBI. His family's computers were seized. He was stripped of his job and his security clearance. And he agreed to retire last year after being told that if he refused, he would risk losing his pension and probably a lot more. And of course, in retaliation, though, the CIA says this: the CIA does not retaliate or take any personnel action against employees for submitting FOIA requests or for pursuing them in litigation. Yeah, right. They've also shut down the History Office. They said, cited budget cuts and said, don't worry, we're going to be doing this somewhere else. We're going to have our declassification work done somewhere else. Well, they don't want you to know anything about them, but as we point out over and over again, they believe that they need to know everything about you. And as we learn more and more about what the paranoid security state wants to know about us and what they collect on us, it gets increasingly creepier. Look at this new article, What Your Startlingly Intimate Voyeuristic NSA File Looks Like. And this is an article from Zero Hedge that is up on Infowars.com today. And this quotes another Washington Post story where they say that the files that are being kept on Americans have a, quote, startlingly intimate, even voyeuristic quality. They tell stories of love and heartbreak, of illicit sexual liaisons, mental health crises, political and religious conversations, financial anxieties, disappointed hopes. The daily lives of more than 10,000 account holders who are not targeted are cataloged and recorded nevertheless. With that kind of information, you could do a lot of blackmailing, couldn't you? And of course, the people who are most susceptible to being blackmailed are people in political office, people like congressmen, people like Supreme Court justices. And of course, many of us believe that Justice Roberts was in fact blackmailed when he did, in an unprecedented move, wrote both the dissenting and the majority opinions on Obamacare. Many people believe that that would not be passed, as there was no constitutional reason for it to pass. The government cannot constitutionally require you to buy something, and he'd written that in his opinion. Then he suddenly switched it and said, that's okay, it's a tax. I'm good with it now. This has happened before. Look at this article about the secret life of J Edgar Hoover. This is something that came out of The Guardian as Clint Eastwood's movie about J Edgar Hoover was about to be released. And they point out a quote here from Harry Truman, who wrote this about J Edgar Hoover. He said, we want no Gestapo or secret police. The FBI is tending in that direction. This is under Truman. They are dabbling in sex life scandals and plain blackmail. Edgar Hoover would give his right eye to take over, and all congressmen and senators are afraid of him. Is that the situation we have today with the NSA? I believe it is. If it hasn't happened already, all the groundwork has been laid there for political abuses that are much worse than what J Edgar Hoover did. With technology, they can find out far more about anyone than they ever could during the time of J Edgar Hoover. And we realize now that for decades, he was blackmailing congressmen, presidents, everyone. And as Truman wrote, he wants to take over. And all congressmen and senators are afraid of him. Do you think maybe they're afraid of the NSA? Well, it's going to get worse, because we see this article from Paul Joseph Watson. Coming soon, the TSA is going to use mind-reading scanners to catch terrorists. Or maybe they will just use it to intimidate the public.
That warrant authorizes the police to read this guy's mind, in this case, his memories. Because you see, in the future, not even our thoughts will be free from search and seizure. Is it the ultimate invasion of privacy? Yes, but it could also clear your good name or maybe even save your life. Today, scientists are already analyzing the mechanics of thought and creating real-life mind-reading machines.
Now, it bears worth repeating what he just said. Is it the ultimate invasion of privacy? Yes. But it could clear your name or save your life, or it could endanger you. It could, the way you get your name cleared is with a jury of your peers, not with technology. Remember when Hillary Clinton was laughing about the rapist that she got off, the pedophile rapist that she got off? And she said, he even passed a polygraph. It destroyed forever my faith in polygraphs. Technology cannot be trusted like a jury of your peers. That is due process. And of course, what he's encouraging us to do is to equate in our mind the fact that we can somehow get safety if we give up our privacy and our liberty. No, you will just be more in danger, and you will be a slave. Remember, it was Jefferson who said that the God who gave us life gave us liberty at the same time. The hand of force, that is the government, can destroy them both, but cannot destroy them or separate them.
This is Alex Jones for InfoWarsLife.com. The latest in preparedness is now here. An electrically stabilized colloidal silver solution that can be added to both your home cabinet and preparedness pack alike. Concentrated to 30 parts per million in what has been dubbed the survival silver solution. And it's entirely free of toxic artificial additives that are loaded into many products. Purchase your bottle of InfoWarsLife.com Silver Bullet Colloidal Silver today and find other amazing supplements at InfoWarsLife.com.